All right, in this video, we're going to start wrapping up some of the warning messages that we're getting because our models don't have the right access permissions. And so access permissions are something that you'll always be working with in Odoo to some extent. And you can specify access permissions in CSV files as part of an IR access file. And so like we learned from looking at the various Odoo applications, we're going to do the same thing with the IR access record. So if we go in here and just open up one of them, we'll just use account for example, you'll see that there's a security folder. And if I open up that security folder, you'll see that inside there, if I make this a little bit bigger, that there's a CSV file here for the IR model access. And if I open this up, we're going to see that there's a syntax here for specifying what our access records need to be. And one of the nice things about the new Odoo 9 framework is that it'll tell us and recommend to us access records. So let me go ahead and make this a little bigger. I can. So it's a little easier to see what we're working with here. And we're going to Control C and restart. And once it restarts, we're going to get those warnings coming up. And notice that under the warning it says warning. We have this unknown field type. We're not going to worry about that one. What we're looking at is these access rights. And it says the model res users meals has no access rules. Considered adding one example, and then it gives us this right here as an example. So we're going to go ahead and Control C to end this for now. We're going to use these to help us not have to write out that syntax from scratch for these access rules. So notice how we have, in this case, this IR model.access.csv. We're going to need to add a file like that to our own application. So remember, ir.model.access.csv. I can come up here to Dietfax and create a new folder called security. So we're going to follow the same conventions and putting this in our security folder. And again, just so we've got it clear here, we want ir.model.access.csv. So I can actually come down here and rename this. It's one way to get the name and just copy it. I really like to copy and paste so you get everything right the first time. So when we make our new file, we can just paste it in there, ir.model.access.csv. Open it up. Now we can also take the header from this example. So I pick this example up and I do another copy and paste. So I've copied and pasted everything so far just to make sure everything's exactly right. And now I can go down here to our warning and grab this up and copy and go to our access rule here and paste. And that's got one of them. Let's go ahead and grab this one here. We're going to copy it, copy, and then paste. Now we get to this one, to this access rule, our third model, copy, paste. And you probably know what's next. We're going to grab the last one. This one right here. One for each of our new models, because we've created 4 models. And now that we've got it in there, let's look at what we've got. We've got an ID that's an access record that we're assigning for our meal, one for our meal item, one for our nutrient, and one for our nutrient that goes with our product template. And it creates an access users meal item group ID, and you can see it reuses it here model underscore res user meal ID. So it creates these kind of for us, so we don't have to worry about them. And then these are our switches here at the end of whether or not you have permissions to read, write, create, or unlink. And notice how we're given everybody read permissions, but not everybody has write, create, or unlink. So if we wanted, we could give users all rights to write, rights to create, or unlink. So these are what these switchers are for. And we're just going to set up the basics for what you would expect in an application. And so now we're going to save this. And one thing that we have to do is this has to be known to exist in our data down here. So we want to open up our OpenERP data and add this ir.model.access.csv to our data list here. So we'll save it, save everything, go back and run again. And notice how the file not found. Okay, it's because I didn't tell the security part of this. So I shouldn't have jumped out of that so quick. But you'll notice that it didn't find the file. I got an error. Error, failed to load registry. And notice how it says right here, IO editor, file not found, dietfact/ir.model.access.csv. It's because I did nest this down into the security folder, but I hadn't specified it here. But now I have, so we're going to fix that error. And restart. And we still got our warning for our unknown fields type in one of our views, and we're going to take and fix that now. So we got rid of all those warning errors for our security because we've created our required security file. But we do have that one error, and I remember when I added that in, I think, to one of our, I think it was this one right here. Maybe it's because I have that space in there. That might be why. Let's try. I didn't think that specifically would be an error. Yeah, it's still an error. So we're going to get rid of that view type here. It doesn't want that. That's just in our actions, apparently. Now, oops, I didn't want that either. Save all. We just want to get rid of these warnings. Clean up the warnings and security. And there we go. We have no warnings at all green, everything's good, and our application is working. We've got our diet items. We can go to our nutrients tab, and we can add our nutrients together and do everything we need to do.